Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys like the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward. Hey guys, Altcoin Sherpa here with a crypto market review. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not an expert. Do your own research. So let's just review BTC USD, overall macro thoughts, and kind of where I view price heading in the next few days or weeks. For me, I've always thought that Bitcoin will go to the 45 to 50K area. There's a few reasons for that. Number one, we got a lot of liquidations on this big move down. A lot of people got stopped out, and the market kind of reset over this last few weeks. I think it's been about 3 weeks or so for this overall range. And according to the volume profile here, it's VPVR on TradingView. If you guys are interested in this overall indicator, this shows that this area has a lot of volume transacted and that traders like this area in general, as seen from the January consolidation period as well as the current consolidation period. So as I said before, I believe that the next area up will be 45 to 50K, and it might even squeeze up higher even to like the 55Ks. But 45 to 50K is like the next area that I am viewing. There's a lot of trading activity up in that area according to VPVR. And again, because so many people got liquidated on this move down, to me it seems that there's more liquidity higher. So what I'm personally viewing is the next big move up going to 45 to 50,000. If we go straight down to new lows from this current level, I would be pretty surprised in general. Again, just from a contextual standpoint, I mean, people got slaughtered on this way down. It just makes so much more sense to me that we at least go higher before a new low. Now, I'm not saying that we necessarily will get a new low. For all we know, that this 30K area could just be like the overall macro low, and this is just where price will stay at for the next few weeks or months. But I think that we at least see something like this if we go to new lows, is going up to 50,000 and then pulling back quite a bit. So for instance, like this would make more sense to me for going to new lows, not like just going straight down from here. But again, I'm not saying that we're necessarily going to new lows. All I'm saying is that I believe that we are going to 45 to 50,000, and I feel pretty strongly about that for the next big move. So that's my overall macro thoughts on BTC. In terms of like higher time frame charts, this weekly was very strong. Last week it closed awesome. And again, like, is this going to be like a total like retrace? Like, I think it's pretty unlikely. I think that it still needs a little bit more time to reset, given this big move down. Something like this would make more sense to me, like where we go up to like 50,000 and then like come down and like hit something like this would make a lot more sense to me personally. But that's just kind of like where I'm viewing things myself, and where we see price going to make a lower high. I think a lower high is very, very likely. I just don't know where that high will be set at. Could be 45, could be 50, could be 55. I don't know. I mean, it could absolutely blitz up to 60K, but I think it's pretty unlikely that it happens in that manner. I think that it's more likely that it hits just a lower high and then it forms maybe some sort of higher low, and then it will enter some sort of like consolidation. That to me would make a lot of sense, but again, I'm just going to take it one level at a time just because I don't really know what's going to happen. If Bitcoin goes higher, then I believe that altcoins will also go higher as well. Altcoins really retraced quite a bit, even more so than Bitcoin. So I feel that altcoins will also go up in terms of alt USD pairs, that is. Alt BTC pairs should suffer if Bitcoin goes higher. I believe that's just like the overall environment for alt BTC pairs right now, is that they just shouldn't be fucked with personally. I think that alt USD pairs are the ones to trade. So as I said, I think that this goes higher. There are a few trades that you can take here. I don't have them marked, so I'll just go ahead and give my current idea. Mainly looking at the 4-hour. Because I'm looking at the 45 to 50K levels, I will mark that now. Here. So this would be like kind of my first area of interest. And if you are looking at some EMAs, this 200-day or 200 EMA in the 4-hour, it's also the 200 EMA on the daily as well. This is like something to observe. This already acted as resistance once right here, if you can see back in the early May part, and now it's again acting as resistance as well. So when you see confluence on two different time frames for the EMAs, it's pretty decent in my opinion. And this as well is like an area of resistance as well. Around this 41K area, like price has already tapped this multiple times. I do believe this area will get broken, but I am actually viewing some of these lower areas around 38K to high 37Ks. This is kind of like an area of interest for me. This is an area that I'm viewing. There's a lot of confluence in this area, and I have a lot of bids stacked all throughout the 38 to 37K area. And my stop is going to be like below that area, around like 34K. So this is the trade setup that I'm personally taking. Like I'm going to level out. Like I'll be taking some profits around 45K, but this is kind of like the overall trade that I'm going to be taking. Like I'm going to be doing this stop below this swing low. I'll probably even open it up just in case. Like if it goes to 33K, that would really suck. But this is kind of like the area. This is kind of like the area overall that I'm targeting, and this is like the trade setup that I'm taking as well. So like I fully believe that this area will break, but I'm hoping that we'll get one last pullback into the 37Ks and something like this, and then go up. Now again, this is I'll be taking profits up along the way, but this is my trade idea, and this is something that I'm looking for. So that's number one trade idea. Number two trade idea that you can take for this chart, I'm just going to scrub that. And this is like totally off topic, but when I was first learning to trade and first learning to chart, I remember watching Trader Main, by the way, follow him. And I remember he would do his chart for like 30 minutes or something like that, and then he would just like exit and delete it. And I was like, why the hell would he delete it? Because like it took him so long to do that, and like it's like wouldn't it take a lot of brain power to revisit those thoughts? But I mean, once you get into trading and doing this a lot, then it becomes more natural. So another trade idea that you could potentially take, and this one is a little bit less clear because of these wicks up, but personally I would be looking to short this 50K area. This is like the first area of interest in my opinion, and this is like one that I'm really going to be watching quite a bit. This was kind of like one of the last big break, supply zones before the big break. As you can see right here, there's like a lot of volatility, and there's certainly going to be sellers up in this area as well, around 57K or so. This is kind of like an area of interest as well to me, where again, last move up before a big breakdown. You can call this whatever you want: OB, supply zone, SR level, whatever. Depends on whatever you want to classify it as. But these are some other shorting opportunities. Now, again, this is a little bit less clear to me personally because there are some wicks, like you can see like right here, and like other wicks like here, where price kind of wicked up and grabbed some liquidity on the way down. But to me, this would be a decent first area to look to short. But again, I'm still a little bit uncertain of how high price is going to go up. Like if my idea is correct, where price will go to 45 to 50,000, like it might even go higher than I think. But to me, something like 50,000 would be like a decent shorting area, and I would probably use this daily as like my stop loss. So something like this would make sense to me, where we go. This is like where I was thinking to like come back down to like this former range high, kind of like this idea right here, around here. But again, this is like not as clear of a trade to me personally, because the stop is somewhat confusing to me. Like you could certainly open this up and go to more of a 2-to-1, like around here. like where you keep your stop around 57K. That's like certainly an idea. But this is another idea that I had, and this is one that I'm going to really be watching. So like 50,000 would be like an interesting area to short. And again, like there are going to be some different levels that you take profits at. Like 45K probably would be like TP number one, and then maybe like target price number two would be like 41K. But there's a lot of different ways you can manage this. This is like my second trade idea. And for many altcoins, they all kind of have this similar chart in general. And this is like the chart for many altcoins. And this is the one that I was looking at for DOT. DOT, as well as many other altcoins, had these big moves down that are big inefficient moves. And I do feel that if Bitcoin goes up to 45 to 50,000, then these altcoins will kind of fill in these moves. So to me, these altcoins have a little bit more of a clearer chart than Bitcoin. And I would view something like DOT, this area to short around $40. This to me is a much more clear chart, where you see this supply zone right before a massive breakdown. And you know, this area will be more highlighted on lower time frame charts like the 4 hour here. But to me, this is like a pretty decent trade setup right here, is shorting this. And another good trade setup for these altcoins, if you want confirmation, you can wait till a flip of this SR level. Like this is a pretty clean SR level in my opinion for DOT. You can see support, and then we see resistance, kind of this area. It doesn't have to be this exact line. And if you want confirmation on the break, you run the risk of A, not getting filled, and then B, you are losing out on some of your reward. But the benefit is that you do have your confirmation of a break of this level. So, you know, as everyone always says in trading, there is no free lunch. Like you pay for it one way or the other. Or the other option is that you start buying, like, you know, when price is grinding up, but the risk is that price just like breaks down and doesn't break through this level. That's like another risk that you run. So this is like another trade setup that you could potentially take, is a break of this SR level. And I use DOT because this is really reflective of so many other altcoins right now. Like there's so many altcoin charts that look exactly like this, where we saw like massive moves down and this big inefficient move. So DOT is just a representation of the entire altcoin market. So like, you know, this is like kind of how I would probably do it myself, is I would just do a stop below the swing low, or swing high, I'm sorry. And it's going to depend on how this looks overall. But this is kind of like my trade setup right here for a long of a break of $30 up to say 40-ish area. And then again, if you want to trade it both ways, I do believe that this $40 area will have like a pretty good risk to reward. Not necessarily back down. I don't know if it's going to go all the way back down, but like, you know, something like this would make a lot of sense to me personally. So this is kind of like the third trade setup. And this is like, again, this chart can be applied to like nearly all altcoins. There's a lot of altcoins that look like this chart. So these are some trade setups that you can take overall. And this, like my overall plan for altcoins right now is to observe them. And I'm going to really de-risk a lot of my bags when price goes up to like something like this, because I don't know if they are going to break all-time high levels. I think it's quite unlikely that they get there, like just like a V-shaped reversal. I think it's more likely that they go up here, hit like $40 like for this DOT situation, and then we see something like this where they come down. And similar to Bitcoin, like kind of my overall thoughts for Bitcoin was just, you know, something like we just hit like lower highs and then like we hit higher lows. This is kind of like my overall idea for altcoins, and then we just like chop around for quite a while. So these are 3 trade ideas that I have for you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you guys think. Good luck.